Hello and welcome to this session of Healthy Numbers, Growing Businesses Healthier. Now today what we're going to look at is getting enough sleep. So first thing I'd like to ask you is, have you heard of the 5-2 diet? It seems to be everywhere. This is the one where people eat normal for 5 days they eat normal food, and then for 2 days they have quite restricted calorie intake. So I was wondering, how could you apply this to your sleeping pattern? Now, not for a minute am I thinking about you get less sleep, rather thinking about how you could have more sleep for those 2 days. So for 5 days you might do what you normally do, and then for 2 days you would have some more. So what difference would extra sleep mean to you? Sleep deprivation is a terrible thing. It's been registered as being as high, if not worse, than being drunk, being intoxicated. So imagine if you didn't always feel tired. Imagine if you could think more clearly more often. And imagine if you actually didn't just fly off the handle so often, because sometimes that's what happens when we're feeling sleep deprived. How would you know if you're sleep deprived? Maybe you fall asleep in front of the TV, or when you're at the movies you doze off. Or you feel yourself wishing you could have a nap during the day. Maybe late in the morning you think, oh, a little pre-lunch nap would be nice. Or maybe in the afternoon you think about a siesta. Maybe you get sleepy during meetings, lectures, or when you're in a warm room. And have you ever felt drowsy when you're driving? Because when it's long drives or even a short drive, sometimes being drowsy when driving can be an indication that you have sleep deprivation. And another one could be that you take a long time to wake up in the morning. To raise yourself from slumber is quite difficult. So you probably know if you're actually sleep deprived. There's a few ways that you can get more sleep, because sleep is critical. When we get enough sleep, then we can think more clearly and we can function much more professionally, and we can run our businesses better, because ultimately what we want to be able to do is run our business better. So how can you get more sleep? You could create a routine. So trying to go to bed at a similar time and wake up at a similar time every day. Waking at the same time is much more important than going to sleep at the same time. So it's much more important to try to wake up at the same time every day rather than having that big sleep in. So it's also important to limit your food and beverage consumption before bedtime. That old theory about breakfast like a king and dinner like a servant seems that it's not just good for keeping weight off, it actually helps us sleep better as well. So a couple of things you can do to make your sleeping environment more sleep friendly, is a comfortable bed and a really good pillow. Whether that's a feather pillow for you or one of those lovely foam ones that hold the shape really well. Clean linen is important, so changing your bed linen quite often. Having the room not too hot or not too cold. And reducing noise and light. And you know, the big thing is no TV, iPads, iPhones, internet, Facebook in your bedroom. If you can take those out. So what I'm suggesting is that we try to implement a 5-2 sleep diet, where for 5 nights you do your normal thing. So you do what you normally do on your 5 nights. And then for 2 nights in a row, going to bed earlier. So if you want to get an extra hour's sleep, go to bed an hour earlier and try and do as many of the previous suggestions as possible. So maybe taking all the technology out of your room for 2 nights. And you know, once you've done it for 2 nights, maybe you'll be able to do it for more. So it's really not about sleeping in, but rather about going to bed earlier. Try it. See how you feel with just a bit more sleep. Give it a go.